Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. We're here in Garlemald in, what's the part we're in? The Eblin Rhyme, and at Victor Spoils with the Shady. I keep going back and forth again whether she's Shady, with Licinia. My current thought is that she's definitely hiding stuff. I mean, clearly we heard the voice that she's hiding. But I don't think she's going to try to blow up the camp or anything like that. I think she's legitimately afraid of us doing stuff, like of us being the savages she's heard about. So anyway, she has asked us to go to find some trappers and to get some supplies for them. I think my memory's a little bit shaky and the quest description log is not that helpful. So we'll see. New location. Also, this is Tapper's Den. My audio might be different this video. It may not be, but I'm just adjusting my headset a little bit to hopefully make my P's and S's not project directly into the mic. I just hope it's not too quiet. Burly Tapper. Tapper, I guess these are like cerulean tappers, like oil people, sort of. Who goes there? How'd you find us? What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor Spoils hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. The purebloods? Okay. So, I wonder what... Are you not Garlean? I guess you're not Garlean. You're Rogadan. Garleans are only humans, aren't they? Or can Garleans also... No, Garleans can also be, like, Elizin, right? I actually don't remember. As far as Garlean, I mean with the eye, with the third crystal eye thing in their head. Those stuck-up arseholes. They thought they could come waltzing in here, demanding ceruleum with nothing to offer in return. Ha! Looks like the boot's on the other foot now. The capital's gone to shite. So they've resorted to sending you to negotiate. I know your game, you rogue. If you think we'll give in to intimidation, they've got another thing coming. Nope, I'm here to help. Oh shit, never mind. I mean, I am still here to help, but looks like you're not in the mood for that. By the way, you might notice that I am a different job right now. I've been leveling up a few different jobs simultaneously because I'm trying to get the Magus Sister minion, and I don't want to just reach max level and waste all that experience on my red mage, and so I'm leveling up Dark Knight. And I got this fucking amazing helm from that dungeon, from Tower of Zot. I love this. It looked like some kind of ancient pagan god. I didn't mean that... I meant like, I don't know, like God of the Woods or something like that from like Norse mythology with the bone skull on my head. That's all I meant. There you are. Oh, Alize. Just after you left, Licinia asked me to go and catch up with you in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I have a little experience in transporting barrels of ceruleum. I don't remember what that's referring to. I don't know. I mean, clearly Alphinaud is the one who let that slip, but I don't remember I don't know what that's referring to when she was transporting barrels of ceruleum. So this is Tapper's Den. Well, then after you. I mean, we just beat up 2 of their guards, but they attacked us first. Yeah, no, these are certainly not pure. These are probably hired help or adopted citizens, that sort of thing. Jarek, who are you? What happened to the guards? I beat them up. Eorzeans and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why in the hells would you pass up this chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword? Alize, let me guess. None of you are Garlean. You were brought here from other lands? Yeah, that's a big yes. Garrick. Girabania, Yansha, Bozja. Dalmasca, to name but a few. Some dragged here against our will, others fed bollocks about a better life, all put to work extracting ceruleum. All given the esteemed title of An, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy means nothing in the new Garlemald, says we. About the only thing that's escaped more or less unscathed is Cerulia Ingens, still sustaining us even with our paymasters out of the picture. Yeah, you are in good shape right now relative to the rest of society. Alize, we hear you're experts in drawing up ceruleum from the bottom of the lake, but how can you do that if it's frozen over? Jarek, ha, wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, it's not as if ceruleum is used much these days, what with the city in ruins. We take enough to power our heaters and save the surplus for later, and though it helps to stave off the cold, it does sod all about our hunger unless we can trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we've got ceruleum by the barrel full. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare. Alize, we can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here? I mean, you have infrastructure here, I guess. I'm guessing that's why. Like, what are you going to do? Make the trek across the snow? Like, that's a really tough... You have barely enough food to survive now. Jarek, free to go? Go where? Even if we managed to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us thanks to the Empire. And the knowledge and skills we acquired working here would be practically useless outside of Garlemald. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. So we're staying for the time being. Long as there's a need for ceruleum, we'll find a way to get by, even if Garlemald as we knew it is gone for good. It's, again, very reasonable idea. Alize, gone for good. Yeah, that's a bizarre idea that Garlemald is just done as a power. And they kind of had to. If Yoshi P and the Final Fantasy XIV team wanted to wrap up the main story arc of Since a Realm Reborn, the Empire had to be done as an antagonist. I didn't think this was how it was going to go. I mean, I knew that Garlemald was going to be a place we were part of, but around Stormblood, at least, where around the end of Stormblood especially, I remember going into the meeting with Emperor Varys before the Gimlet Dark, thinking that this was going to be the beginning of an alliance between, or a tentative alliance between them. Not bringing them into the fold, but almost treating them as like the US and Russia nowadays, where you're not mortal enemies, but you're certainly not going to be in the same coalition as each other, for the most part. I thought that's where we were going to go. But no, we went somewhere else. Jarek, if you're wondering why we'd post guards outside, it's because we've had trouble with other refugees, and I don't mean the ones at Victor's spoils. Some of them come bearing weapons and won't take no for an answer. As for the 2 guards you met on the way in, I'll tell them what we've discussed, once they've recovered from the beating you gave them. Come to think of it, maybe we should ask your contingent to send some bandages and healing balm. Yeah, sorry about that. Alvia, how the bloody hells did you find us here, and who are you? I also like that the ceruleum is like blue fire. It's pretty badass. That's a nice touch. And I know that blue is hot, but like blue is hotter than red in the context of fire. Or at least, I don't know, maybe blue chemical fire is different. It's not necessarily hotter, but anyway, I know that blue usually signifies hotter fire, but here it just makes the whole place still look frosty. Allart. Come here across the ice fields, did you? Then better hope you weren't followed by any of them crazed soldiers or were done for. You look sort of like Emmett Selk. Like a poor man's Emmett Selk. And I mean that in the best possible way. Alright, Alize. Regardless of what the Ilsabard contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life will have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it's for the best that it's consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people, their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? No, they shouldn't be forgotten, but as a political entity, I'm glad the Empire's dead. I suppose there'll be plenty of time to ponder that for later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. You'll also see from my inventory that when I have been in the mood to play 14 but haven't wanted to progress the story because I have a certain limit I want to do each day for the session, I have some of it has been rerunning Tower of Zot to try for the minion unsuccessfully yet, but it did get the card. Some of it though has just been collecting going through my card list, through the Gold Saucer card list to try to fill this out, and it's been a lot of fun. Just going to old zones and like just triple triading against NPCs for whatever cards I'm missing. And there's a long way to go, but it's a sort of mindless activity, relatively mindless collection activity that I find personally very fun while I'm like doing something else or watching a video or watching Let's Plays on my other monitor. Anyway, Jarek. At the end, wait, is there any other quest that opened up here? No. I thought these might be quest givers, but not yet. Jarek. At the end of the trail, Jarek is amenable to making a deal. So you've come seeking ceruleum, have you? I have. What, those purebloods up at Victor's Spoil sent you? To turn to their enemies for help. They must be more desperate than I'd thought. Then again, Licinia's got her little sister to think about. That's who she's hiding. She's hiding like a sick little sister that she's worried we're going to exploit or sell or something. Alize, sister? But we only saw Licinia and 3 men. Jarek, it's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt there'd be any way to get it around here. I may have refused Licinia at first, thinking she'd come back with something to exchange, but I could spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. Consider it a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be sure to send them our way. You hear? Nice. I like this. That he's not... Because these people have plenty of reason to hate the Empire. Like, they've been exploited, and it sounds like they're better than slaves, but not by a whole lot. But still, they're, like, he's acknowledging, you got a sick sister, she didn't do me any harm. Alice, I can't for the life of me think why Licinia would keep her sister a secret from us, but we can ask about that after we've delivered the ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back. I'm still thinking that it's because when Licinia first greeted us, I greeted in quotes, she called us savages, so I think she's still afraid of us, and she was using herself as a test case to see how we treat her and like the other adults in the group before bringing her sick sister into the picture. We got a fate that came here, a Snowball's chance. Despite appearing to be comprised largely of snow, the bizarre Snegovic requires warmth much like any other creature. The ceruleum pipelines, for whatever reason, give off a certain amount of heat, which attracts Snegovici. There is concern, however, that allowing them to huddle around the pipes will raise the temperature to dangerous levels, so they must therefore be driven off to prevent a potential explosion. Alright, I hate that we have to drive off the Snegovici. Look at them, they're friggin' adorable. They're like little snowbirds. Oh well. I guess if this is what must be done to avoid an explosion, we'll do it, but I am not happy about this. We've defeated the Snegovici. What an honorable victory. A glorious victory for our contingent. Alize. I don't see Licinia. Where did she go? Alize. This isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Alphinaud would be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They can't have gone far. Uh-oh. I don't know what we're looking for. I guess we're looking... because... like, it's a group of people. Oh, here they are. Alphinaud. And Sickly Refugee. Sickly Refugee. Ah, damn it all. Alphinaud. What happened? Who attacked you? Tempered soldiers? Alphinaud. They asked me to... They asked me to help carry supplies, but when I followed them back here, they attacked me. Caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear that they fared rather worse than me. You can't Sickly refugee. You can't fool us. We know what you're about. Yeah, that's why she wasn't showing us they're waiting for us to. Okay. Yep. That's why she was being shady. Sickly refugee. Vultures, that's what you are. Waiting in the wings for us to show weakness, then in you swoop. Here to help? What rot! All a ploy to make us lower our guard, let you in, put ourselves at your mercy, put us in chains, steal your lands, get your revenge. Steal our lands. Alphinaud. You're wrong. That's not what any of us want. But it's, again, I think this is a totally reasonable expectation from the Garleans. Alizé. Save the arguments for later. We've got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles and a bed that was still warm. It's true. Licinia was hiding her sick sister inside the house. Yep. But now there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? He's not going to tell us. Sickly refugee. Away from you and yours. And if you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I'd never give up my people. Alizé, we're trying to help them, you idiot. Her sister's ill. The empty bottles prove it. So the medicine ran out, or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry, or to avoid the sound of clinking glass. There are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? Sickly refugee, to protect them from you. Yeah, this is just, there's no easy way to get this kind of trust. You invade our homeland, taint it with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. A Garlean should sooner die than suffer the insult. I've said that, I keep saying this, but I really don't blame him for thinking this way. Like, this absolutely, the whole Toloferoy thing absolutely smells like an attack from outside. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, than be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them since the moment you arrived. Yeah, they weren't. I know they come with really good intentions, and the twins do, and the whole Ilsebard contingent, and there was the whole debate about why are we helping Garleans when they've oppressed us, but they really haven't thought of, do the Garleans want help? Will they be receptive to it? Alphinaud, this is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Licinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries and theirs. I will join with you in the search after. Alizé, all right. Be careful. Oh, she's so worried about her brother. She's a good sis. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. Are these going to be the same thing? Better to die free than live in sickly refugee. Better to die free than live in servitude and shame. The girls would say the same. Alphinaud, I will follow the men inside as soon as I can. After I've given them some basic treatment, I'll take the men inside the house and use his light sleeping enchantment to help them rest and ensure they don't cause any more trouble. I'm sorry, but this is something I must do. You're taking this really personally. I don't mean that as a negative. I don't mean like, why are you so mad, bro? I don't mean that as a negative at all for him. I just mean he's taking this to heart. I think he was really thinking his intentions would be enough. And they're not in this case. It's got to be frustrating as hell for Alphinaud. Alizé. 2 sets of fresh footprints. Young women, judging by the size. This is definitely them. Come on. Those are chocobo footprints. Oh, you guys, never mind. That's for my chocobo. Alizé. The trail stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route so as to not leave footprints. I can't think of any other reason. Look at this place. It's crawling with beasts, and I can only imagine how hard it must be for her ailing sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alphinaud's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. If only we had... I can't believe I'm saying this. If only a Manolane were here, that would make things easier with his telescope. So we got good news and bad news. Good news is we've picked up the trail, it looks like. The bad news is it's because there's fresh blood. I'm guessing this is mostly bad news. The blood staining the snow appears to be fresh. Judging by the amount, the victim may have been severely wounded. The trail of blood leads southeastwards. Oh, this is neat. Just a neat little touch. A grove of... What are these? Like ferns or baby evergreens? Very pretty little plants. Anyway, let's find the dying refugees. Licinia. Why were they going here? Just to get away from us? Or maybe these are like, have some medicinal properties to them, these plants? The two bodies are already cold. What the fuck? I was joking around and all because I really thought they'd just be like tired and like, oh fine, we'll go with you and we'll take your medicine, we'll get better and we'll become your best friends and we'll help you in the next dungeon. I didn't think they'd just flat out be dead like this. Are you serious? Holy shit. They're just gored dead in the... Any number of beasts could have gotten them. This is bleak. Jesus. Yeah, especially with Alizé here. This isn't... I think this is giving at least minor vibes of the Tesleen encounter for the sheer bleakness early in the expansion.
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked.
And the radio's giving them a little soundtrack to their deaths. Oh my god.
No. Why wouldn't they?
I'm just taking this in. This is the level of mistrust to prefer an escape with your wounded, sick sister across beast-ridden ice fields to nowhere was better than the potential trickery of some savages.
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic.
That's right, and it's... I was thinking the whole Telaferoi thing, because I forgot for a second, back when they were talking... Back when the sickly refugee was talking about the corrupting influence of magic, that the Garleans just flat out don't use magic at all. And so even healing magic they might think has mind control elements or who knows what.
We should have... I should have...
There's literally nothing else you could have done. Is this a POV of something? No, that's not. I thought it was someone hiding in the reeds.
We have to take them home.
Are you sure? I get the intention, but how is it going to look if the savages come in holding the bloody corpses of... I really don't think that's a good idea.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out here in the wind and the cold.
Good God. I just got like hand on my head right now.
I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave.
Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Oh, like that he faked his own death or something? Or I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Of course I didn't believe it. But Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all.
Is he talking by Varus's voice from beyond the grave? This is the thing where some of them think that Varus faked his own death and is like giving orders and encouragement before his imminent return, like that sort of thing?
I want to understand. So I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders.
I still don't... I agree, and I get that they had no reason to trust us, but it's not like we're just coming in here on a mission of nation building. We're coming here to save our own asses, and we're doing our best to help them while we're here anyway.
But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
So, immediately favorite part of the expansion so far, in this very early stages. Boy, this whole... Oh my God, I actually feel terrible about that. No, I don't mean to walk on your graves. This whole section of meeting the refugees, the initial hope that I felt that mirrored the twins' hope, that we were going to give them some food and water and heat, and they'll come to the camp and we'll all be friends now. God, we are far apart from that. Alphinaud. Yeah, ... is right. Where are we anyway? Back near Victor's spoils. Alizé. There must have been something we could have done, but what? Should we have never come here? Would they still be alive if we hadn't? Yeah, yep, they probably would still be alive. And the trappers themselves, I mean, the trappers hold no love for the Garleans, but they're still gonna feel that. Alizé. If only we'd had a chance to talk things over, but it's too late now. Too late by far. Alphinaud. A way forward. Alphinaud's resolve may be shaken, but he has not forgotten his duty. We've caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do now is make our report to Lucia and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. So let us linger here no more. Come. Bum bum ba ba da da da. Triumph! Victory happy music. Boy, is that out of place right here. I'm back at Camp Broken Glass. And I just did a fate along the way, a repeat fate, to get to the next rank of shared fates. And yes, the Garlemald riding map has opened up. This highly detailed map of Garlemald, including everything from land elevation to the location of exposed rocks and roots, was originally drafted by Imperial couriers seeking to reduce delivery times. Alizé. We mustn't forget to send some of our allies to Tapper's Den. We still owe them for the bottle of ceruleum. Yeah, we do. Alphinaud. Would you mind giving Lucia a full report? Yeah, I don't think you're in the mood to do so. Y'shtola. Treatment of the Tempered is proceeding as well as can be expected. If there is anything to report, you will be sure to know, though I gather you have a report of your own to deliver. Arunsena. Is something the matter? The twins look out of sorts, and you two seem a bit off. Yeah. Maxima. Forgive me for saying, but the three of you appear rather drained since your return. Is there aught I might do to be of assistance? Nothing at the moment, but thank you, Maxima. Lucia. Alizé and Alphinaud tell me they have finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrain from saying much more than that. Clearly they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask for your account? Yeah, and buckle up, buckaroo.
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments, and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
Or less willing.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified.
Oh, sweet. So did they tell you what the cause of all this was? What the precipitated
they have provided
this?
Us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald.
Okay.
The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's 3rd Legion clashed with the 1st, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
I disagree with this. Like, plenty of civil wars would burn down the thing that they purport to protect. But, I mean, I believe it, but I disagree that it has to be because of outside influence.
The Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front line, specifically.
Wait, what?
Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Zenos had been possessed by a demon.
Rumors that we quite effectively planted. Go Yugiri.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Wait, that wasn't Elidibus, that was us. I'm confused about what she's saying, because we were the ones who planted the rumors in the first place to sow dissent, and it worked really well.
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Okay.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly.
I feel like I'm misunderstanding some of this. Let me take a look at this again. Oh, no. Okay. So he's not saying... Sorry, I'm... This is a little bit confusing to me, but here's my best interpretation of this. So they're saying that Nerva and his father were on team. Nerva and his father were Team Nerva. Xenos was, and they knew that Xenos was replaced by a demon. The demon being Elidibus, but they're saying, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth? And so they're not saying that Elidibus is the one who is disparaging their enemies. They're saying that Nerva and Titus were taking advantage of, that a demon, quote-unquote demon that was actually Elidibus, was possessing Xenos. And they're taking advantage of Elidibus's presence. Indeed, but before their accusations, before Titus's and Nerva's could be substantiated, they started getting wiped out. Okay, now I understand where they're at. Okay, sorry about that. Again, Elidibus, like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varys, certainly. Right, so this is Elidibus, then on Team Varys, was striking a blow against Team Nerva.
Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies.
Right.
And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varys Sosgalvis is murdered.
Right. And this is just coincidence at this point. I mean, it's not like wild coincidence, but it's not like that was planned to inflame everything.
And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius Van Belsar, is named the murderer.
So this was seen as treason from Team Varys, and is seen as, I don't know what Team Nerva would see this as.
Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
Gotcha, understood. So both sides are really assuming that
no one is
the others have crossed a Rubicon.
Everyone else is to blame.
Yeah.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
Is this Fandaniel now at play? This has got to be
I'd heard
Fandaniel.
House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
I don't remember what House Brutus is.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
Oh, Asahi was from House Brutus, and so it was Fandaniel who was using his money and power in the Asahi meat suit. Okay, gotcha.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varys giving them orders in their dreams.
Emperor Varys giving them orders. Is this what being tempered feels like to them?
May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
Oh my god, the Tower of Babel. So, again, for anyone who has not played Final Fantasy IV, the Tower of Babel was like a tower that played a role in a lot of that game, but far more important than the Tower of Zot. The Tower of Babel was like this powerhouse that opened the way to the moon. It was like a whole bit, and it was the Herald of the Apocalypse in Final Fantasy IV that was going to bring forth the Giant of Babel to stomp on everything before the power of friendship stopped the Giant of Babel. But Tower of Babel was basically the way to the moon, charging station, and Herald of the Apocalypse. I think that's probably the important thing to know as far as Easter eggs in terms of why that's coming into play now.
This sounds awfully familiar.
Yeah, but you're probably not thinking. I don't think Alice has played Final Fantasy IV.
We have something to show you all.
She's thinking of the radio and the dead Varys sort of thing. Yeah.
Varys spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
I mean, it's not a ghost. I'm pretty sure that's not the thing.
We are of one mind, then.
Yeah. It's like, well, the mind. I think they're saying that it's tempering them through the radio.
That permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence.
Oh, okay. I wasn't even thinking that. That makes sense. So the radios are what kept them safe?
A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
I also wonder if... Because I mentioned... I talked before about what a Garlean primal would look like. I kind of wonder if a Garlean primal in this case would be like Emperor Varys, like a supercharged version of Emperor Varys. That might be.
My friends, I must speak with you.
What's up, Serena?
A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall.
Okay.
Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I do so wish.
I think we do.
Who do we have here?
Garleans?
So initial thoughts on this guy. Is this... This isn't the... I think this is just a new soldier, but maybe it's just the blue hair that's making me think of the guy who, from Shadowbringers, from the first, who we helped sneak into Yulmore. The cat kid. The cat boy.
Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
Yeah, it's just the blue hair. No relation. My bad.
I am Lucia Junius, a temple knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Probably not someone who's going to talk.
Pierre Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it.
Though we would be right to do so, given how you've invaded every other fucking place.
Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe.
I mean, I'm fine with this language about the people of Garlemald have suffered most, as long as it's clear that they've suffered most within Garlemald. Like, within, and even then, it's not like the peoples that they've subjugated have suffered far more than the people of Garlemald. I think that's a reasonable statement. And the people who are brought in from the outside, like the people currently in Cerulean Ingans, in the Trappers, those people have suffered more than these people. But I get where they're coming from. I just hope that they keep that in mind. That, yeah, they've had it rough, but others have had it far worse.
Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
This is not unexpected.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Don't say a Manoline.
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
That's true, and I honestly think it's better off to have a non-Garlean. I think because we saw how hostile they were, how hostile that guy was, especially how hostile they've all been to the idea of traitors to the homeland as opposed to just savage invaders.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
I think that's fair. What would your mother say if I let you two go by yourselves? No, I'm not going to. This is not the time for sass. I'm going with you.
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
Yeah.
Couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
I'm giving you leeway, but that leeway has a limit, buddy.
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
Hopefully this is at least beginning to garner some goodwill, but we'll see. We'll definitely. So this session went far longer than I intended. I set my alarm, but unfortunately my alarm was set to stop playing, like a sleep timer sort of thing, rather than an actual alarm, so that's why I missed it. So that's going to be it for me. Apologies for the longer session than usual. And I will see you all next time, where we take a look at the side quests that popped up here, just a couple of them, and then we'll continue on to... where are we going, actually? Oh, speak with Lucia again. We'll continue on. We'll speak with Lucia, and we'll continue into this camp of Garlean survivors, wherever it may lead. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.